Welcome to Game, Set and Chat, where we're serving up tennis talk every week to help you improve your game. Episode 5, Hot Takes.
Episode 5, Hot Takes. Spicy.
I think a lot of people are going to be excited for this one.
Yeah, I have lots of soap operas or soap boxes, and so lots of takes that I could go on. So we had to kind of narrow it down because we would be here all night if we were going through all my soap boxes.
Yeah, we were definitely talking about some of the hot takes we had, and we were saying, oh gosh, we could literally sit here for maybe 10 hours and just talk through constantly what we see in the game of tennis.
I think Hot Takes is going to be a every once in a while recurring kind of playlist, right? We're gonna have the Hot Takes playlist.
I like it. Yeah. Maybe once a season we do a couple more hot takes, or maybe even dedicate a season to it at some point. I like that.
Absolutely.
Shout out to social media and things like that. That's been blowing up a little bit. We moved our YouTube channel over. I think we've had some success with that.
Yes, I still have to follow up on the original YouTube channel and make a little video that shifts you to the next one. So I'll be doing that this week. I had a tournament to go to last week, so I didn't get a chance to.
How'd it go?
So there was positives and negatives. So I played a doubles match, ended up winning that in a tiebreaker, third set. Played a singles match, competed well, couldn't close out some games, so lost 2-2. I will say, to follow up on the psychology of match play though, I tried the lock box.
Yep.
Okay, because I had I'm about the double fault mentality, and so I tried to put that in the box. It worked a couple times. Didn't work a couple of times.
Sure.
So I think that's definitely something that you have to practice, like many others, like any physical skill, mental skills are something you have to practice as well. But it did help me out, and especially given the heat and everything, the breathing, super helpful as well. Yeah.
Good. Well, hopefully you're one of many that were able to listen last week and get these things. And like you said, mental skills are needing to be practiced.
Yes.
When you're going out to practice on your breathing, practice on your mental skills,
absolutely.
So let's get into some hot takes.
Do it.
I'm going to start us out with one that, originally I think I was thinking this would be rather simple, but maybe there's more to discuss than just the basic concept. But I'm going to read out the line that I have written down here, which is, you don't need to watch the service line for your partner. And so what we're talking about here is doubles.
Yeah.
Okay. And your partner's returning serve, and I see it coached all over the world. Totally fine, and we'll get into why it's coached. But I see the net player looking across that service line, and they think their one job is to call this serve in or out.
Yeah.
Now, a couple things about this. One, in singles, you have eyes, you call your own lines, there's no one there.
Everyone, yep.
So this idea that I need my partner to call it out, to be honest, is false.
Yeah.
Does it help to have a second pair of eyes on it? Sure.
Yeah.
It can help for sure. But the point that I want to make, and this is the hot take here, is you're not going to win hardly any points by calling a serve out. Because the serves you're calling out are first serves, most likely.
Okay.
If you're calling out a second serve, the serve is most likely to be slow enough for the baseliner to call it out. So the serves that you tend to be calling out when you do this are first serves.
Yeah.
If you call a first serve out, you don't win the point. You
That's
just
true.
give them a second serve.
Yeah.
So the benefits to staring across the line, worrying about the serve going in or out, is far less than the benefits of letting your partner call their line and you focusing on some of the classic doubles things that you need to be doing. Two of them are, we're not going to get into detail with this today, watching your opposing net player, getting ready in case the return goes to them, so maybe you can get the ball back.
Yeah.
But more importantly, watching them, so you know when the ball goes past that net player and you can get off and attack the net.
And collect,
I find, and I'm going to let you talk about this in just a second, I find that people that stare at the line, by the time they've processed whether the serve is in or out, they are now doing a really poor job of going and attacking the net.
Yeah, I think in general I agree. There are going to be times, especially down at the rec level, where your partner asks for your help, right? Because maybe they only play doubles and they say, hey, I'm going to need help with that. And generally at our level as well, at the speeds that we see the ball, more than likely I have plenty of time to get my head back around, right, and get involved in the play. However, at higher rec levels, so even, high 3.5 quality play, good 4.0 level quality play, especially as I'm getting older, my mobility is declining, so I can't make it to the net as fast. With a partner who can call their own line, I don't even stand on the service line
to be able to call it.
I'm two steps in. I'm 2 steps into the service box, so that if they get the return back, I'm closer to getting to the net. Because the way I figure it is, 1, they got to call their line, and then 2, if they hit their return right to the net player, we're playing good enough players, I've lost the point anyway, so being 2 more steps back doesn't earn me anything, right? So
100%. And I hope the listeners listening can almost diagram that out in their mind. Obviously, it's nice to have like a diagram here, but if you're thinking about it, effectively what Philip's saying there is his partner's returning serve, and instead of him being lined up with the service line, he's already 2 or 3 feet, maybe more, inside the service box. So when that serve goes past said player, he can go and attack the net, because that's the important part. Yeah. And so if you are doing that because of, like Philip said, maybe a little bit of lack of mobility to get to the net and press, then you're stood in a position where you can't even call the line necessarily anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So I think far too many people stress themselves out about trying to call this line.
Yeah.
You got so many things to do as a net player. It's just one less thing to worry about if you're going and attacking the net.
But yes. And again, slight pushback though is just, not pushback, but just scenario. Doubles is a team sport. And if the returner feels more comfortable with you helping, quote unquote, to call the line, then you want them focused on
hitting the
best return they can. So you come back, help them with the line call so that they can stay focused mentally, emotionally on hitting the best return they can.
So I think if we summarize that, it's a trade-off, right? And it's a concept of, if your baseliner can feel confident calling their own line, it's going to give your team an advantage to not have the net player try and call it.
Right.
Again, to my argument, you're going to win more points like that, having the net player in a good position ready to go attack, rather than the net player being really worried about the line. Yeah. However, the trade-off is, if your baseliner isn't comfortable and they just want to focus on hitting their return and they don't want to have to worry about a line call, then maybe you make your partner more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I will say, just one more point about this too, is we'll look at the rec game and then look at the kind of high-level game. In the rec game, everyone's so worried about like calling the line perfect. If the ball's close, just play it as in.
Yeah.
You know, like if you go back to our match play episode last week, and we understand we can lose 50% of the points. Yeah. Just don't get so caught up on the ball being close or not. Just play it as in.
Yeah.
Try and win the point.
Yeah.
And you focus on actually hitting the ball.
Yeah.
So my trade-off to that would be, I encourage baseliners to call their own lines, but more than that, don't be so worried about it. Just hit the return. And if it's obvious, you'll call it out.
Right.
If it's not obvious, hit the return and play it as in.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you go.
Like it. Yeah.
First hot take underway.
Like it.
Philip, hit us with another one.
This is kind of a big one, so we'll have to navigate and narrow down, but it's juicy, I think. You're not a pro. We're not a pro. I'm not a pro.
I'm not a pro. I mean, I'm a coach.
More so
played college tennis. So I like to think I got paid to do that because they paid for my education.
So more so than me, or most of our listeners, right? We're not pros. Okay. So why is that a hot take? Well, okay. How many times do you go to, honestly, but coaches, or if they have been high-level players, juniors, college players, they think like pros, because that's the experience of how they trained and how they learned. Well, in what ways is that applicable to the rec game, and in what ways is it not, right? There's a lot of ways I don't think it is, right? There's a lot of tactics and techniques and stuff like this that people get wrapped around the axle about that as a rec player aren't relevant to our game, right? And so I think it's interesting from both your experience learning the game and the ways in which you learned it and the ways in which you learned to practice it versus rec players, like a good example was we were out for working with you with a group of guys, and you're trying to put some pressure on us so that we learn to perform under pressure. And you're like, okay, if you lose this little mini game, you got to do burpees, and that's going to put pressure on you because everybody hates burpees, right?
Everybody hates burpees. And just so you know, you say burpee, and everyone goes, oh.
Well, except I'm 50 with bad knees, and so I didn't care because I knew I wasn't doing a burpee.
Yeah, maybe we need to figure out something else for Phil.
Right? Well, but that's the point, right? Is it's you that's the sort of thing where you're like, well, everybody hates to do these, so I'm going to make these guys do these. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing them because if I go down, I ain't getting back up.
Different mentality,
so
right?
That's no motivation for me, right?
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot of those types of things I feel like that maybe don't translate so well, both there, and that can be into tactics, right? That can be techniques of things that maybe, someone's got a residual injury, right? That they just can't do certain things.
I think injury is a really big one. I think a lot of people have this idea and if you go back to kind of our first podcast, I guess, on the aspects of tennis, a lot of people, they like to think, oh, I'm going to do this. I've seen it on TV, I've seen the pros do it, or, I've seen even my friends do it that are high level, but physically, if you aren't capable of doing that, then, and usually it's because of an injury, right? Like, hey, going to surgery for my knee in a month's time. I cannot do this. Leave it on the table, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to be spending your time worried about that.
Right.
I think is where you're coming from there with that regard.
With that one particular,
physicality.
Yeah, and in regards to tactics, so here's a good one that an example I always like to bring up is when you're watching professional level tennis and you see any pro player, but let's say the two at the top of the men's game at the moment that like to do this. You see Alcaraz or Sinner, and they're run 6 feet off the side of the court, and they slap a winner into the near corner.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh my goodness. And you come out to your rec league and you think, I'm run off the court.
I'll do the same.
I'm going for the same. Because you think that's the tactic.
Yeah.
Here's what's actually happening, okay? And I didn't make this up. Watch podcast interviews with their coaches. This is what's actually happening. In their mind, they've run off the court that far. They 100% could just roll the ball into the middle of the court and never miss if they wanted to. 100% they could do it. But they have the respect for their opponent being good enough that their opponent would then take that sitter ball in the middle of the court and hit it for a winner.
And it's useless anyway.
So in their mind, when they're run that far off the court, they have already lost the point.
Yep. So they are, go for it. There's nothing to lose at this point. So you may as well just try and hit it.
Correct. So that's why they go for that risky shot, is because they've already conceded the point. So there's no upside in just rolling the ball back into the middle of the court because they've already lost. But there is potential upside if they go for that highlight reel winner. Now, you're not a pro.
Exactly. Just repeat the hot take, right? You're not a pro.
I'm not a pro. Okay.
And you're not playing against
we're not
pros.
playing a pro. So for us, rec players, we get pulled off that court. The best thing we can do is throw that ball up in the air and aim for the middle of the court.
Yep. Make them beat you.
Make them beat you.
Because we get this all the time in rec tennis, right? It's like, this is a really good point to make. I think people need to hear this point and take it with them. You're not playing Roger Federer. You're not playing Serena Williams. Okay.
We're not even playing Noah.
And and I think if you think about yourself and how many times have you been on top of the net and you've dumped it in the net or done something horrible with a point-winning shot, you're playing people that are fully capable of doing that.
Absolutely.
More probability of them doing that than you becoming Alcaraz in this 10 seconds.
Correct.
And I think that's a good point to make.
Or them becoming Alcaraz and smacking a straight winner off of that, right?
I literally was having this high-level training session the other day. The kid's, super high-level teenager kid. He listens to this podcast, so he'll love that I'm chatting about this. But we were out there, and we had one of the girls was hitting down the line approach and coming to the net. So we have a passing shot situation for this high-level player, right? And then I was asking this high-level player to go for winners around. And as I was asking him to do that, because he hopefully will be a pro, right? He's training to be a pro. Yeah. You guys, most listening, are not pros. I was asking him to do that because I was making that exact point. I was saying, hey, at the 12 and 13 UTR level, you hit this back to him, you've lost.
Yeah.
So exactly that point, we were making him go for it. Now, body language, I then had him do a set where he rolled the ball to the feet of the net player coming in and having to hit low volley.
Yeah.
And I said, what's the difference? The difference is you look across the net, situationally you say, do I think my opponent is going to miss this shot?
Yeah.
And there's times, even at a pro level,
they're missing it,
where they go, I'm going to make this ball and make them beat me because they look tight over there, or their body language looks negative, or something like that. So it's about gauging the match. But I just like that as an example because it shows you the difference of training mentality if you are a pro, or like Philip says, most of you at home, you are not pros. So that drill would look very different. Run to the other side of the court and get it back. Give them an overhead. Give them the easiest volley of their lives. Get the ball in.
Correct. Again, I like your clarification. You're not a pro, and your opponent's not a pro.
Yeah,
so that's the both sides of that coin. So
yeah. So, it's really funny the amount of people that come off court and they go, oh my goodness, my opponent was, Lardy. I'm thinking, did you walk on court with Serena Williams just now? Like, you're talking very highly of your opponent,
Yeah.
Maybe bring the respect
a little down.
Down a little bit,
So that's my number one. And again, obviously, there's lots of different ways that we could discuss that, but I thought that was a pretty good one for
I like
first
that
hot
one.
take. So.
And I do think like that one, if people take away and really think about the depths of that, they can learn a lot from that.
Correct.
Because you can get deep with that. You can think, okay, well, how else am I not a pro in all walks? So I like that one a lot. I'm going to go for my next one, which is very, very simple. And yet I think it needs to be said, and I think people really need to understand this. It needs to hit them hard. If you want to get better at something, you have to do it. I'm gonna talk in regards to tennis shots for a second.
I got some. Oh yeah, I'm teed up for this one. Okay.
If you want to get better at a tennis shot, you have to do it. So I'm going to talk through what I see all the time with a positive spin, a positive cycle, and then a negative cycle. This is kind of what happens to people. They go, oh, I'm playing a match, or I'm playing, practice, and so-and-so's really good at drop shots. And they go, I'm horrible at drop shots.
Yeah.
Right? What happens next? We go back to the start and we say, how did they become good at drop shots? So-and-so tried drop shots one day, and it went a little bit better than expected. Yeah. And she went, ooh, this is fun. I like this. And because she thought it was fun and she liked it, she did it more.
She started.
And because she did it more, she got better at it.
Yeah.
And when she got better at it, she liked it more, and it's a positive spiral.
Right.
The negative spiral happens to most people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk through that.
You miss a couple, and now you're like, oh, I don't have the drop shot. I'm never gonna do it.
And then you don't do it.
Yeah.
And then you stand there and you go, I'm not very good at it.
I think even worse than drop shots, I think for most of the sort of rec and beginner players when they're first starting is actually just the volley.
Yeah.
You're so afraid to go be up at net. Well, my volleys sting. Well, how do you know?
Yeah. And how are you ever going to improve?
Never go hit them.
Yeah.
So just go hit them, and you will eventually start landing them, and then you'll be good at them.
Yeah. If you want to improve something, you have to do it. I was on court with my juniors the other day, and someone was complaining about their backhand, and I said, well, how many backhands have you hit this session compared to forehands?
Yeah.
Because you keep running around your backhand.
Yeah.
So okay, you may have hit 80 forehands for every 20 backhands, and 500 forehands and 100 backhands later, you're like, wow, my backhand's so much better than my forehand.
Yeah.
Quit running around it.
Right.
If it's a problem, practice it, because you will get better.
Yeah.
You will get better.
Yeah.
Got anything to add to that one?
Yes, it goes, in my opinion, it goes even further than just a particular shot. It goes into tactics as well, and in situations. And the big one for me is tiebreakers.
Mm-hmm. If you want to get better at tiebreakers,
play tiebreakers. We go to tournaments, and by we I mean Huntsville teams.
Yeah.
And we have competitive players, and we play competitive matches, and we lose so many tiebreakers. There was one year we went to state with a team, a 40-plus team. We get to the finals, and we lost 3 doubles lines in tiebreakers. The captain of the other team, they're celebrating, and he's pointing to his players going, I told you practicing tiebreakers was going to comment.
Yeah, there you go.
So when you go out to practice, instead of playing sets all the time, play some tiebreakers. Play them to 7, play them to 10, right?
Yeah.
Here's the reason, especially in tiebreakers. Scoring system of tennis.
Yep.
You can be 40 love down and you can still really easily win. You go 4 points down in a tiebreak because you've had some lazy shots and you missed some shots. That's very difficult to come back from.
Yeah, it's a little bit different the way you approach a tiebreaker and the way you think about it. And like you say, the scoring system now, you can get quite far behind in a tiebreaker in a game. It's over before you know it, or you're in it with a shot, right? It's a 4-point shootout.
But having unforced errors in that tiebreaker, right? Even of the kind of missing a return, double faulting, man, those are massive swings. Whereas you can get away with a loose return or a double fault in a game, right? Because there's 4 points to play with and add.
And the other thing is too, right? The pressure that comes with the tiebreaker, knowing that we're playing this one game to 10, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We're done.
Yeah.
Whereas you play a set, and for 90% of that set and the second set, you feel like there's a long way to go. You're in a match, la-di-da.
It's just one break. We'll get it back. Yeah.
But tiebreaker, like that stress and anxiety of, hey, I'm 7-4 down. Shoot.
Yeah.
3 points and it's over. Like, you practice that,
and you get better at it.
You will get better at it. And you can attribute that to everything in tennis. You can probably attribute that to everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Kids listening, if you're bad at math, practice math.
Yeah.
But there you go. I like that one.
Yeah, that one is. Oof, yeah.
Go and practice what you're bad at, and you'll get better at it. You will no longer be as bad at it.
Yeah.
Hit us with your next one, Philip.
All right. It's a little bit hypocritical given what we're doing right now. YouTube lessons.
Okay. I love where you're going with this. I can see where you're going with this already.
Okay. I learned how to do everything wrong in tennis from YouTube. Okay? Because when I first started playing, I didn't have the money for private lessons, and I had just picked it up and showed up and started playing tennis and watched some tennis, and so I'm like, well, I need to get good at this. As a nerd, I went to the internet. Oh, YouTube videos, and here I go. I'm watching YouTube videos. 5 minutes and hit my forehand like Federer. Heck yeah, clickety click click. Let's go, right?
This is probably our hottest take. I think we saved this one for last, which is good.
So I did all the stuff wrong.
There's a lot of people listening right now going, I've spent hours on YouTube this week.
I know. So went through all that stuff. Now, eventually, I did find a few people on YouTube, and so in the show notes we might put a shout out to those people because
I think that would be a good idea.
They've actually really made a big difference. So I did eventually find, after going through a lot of wrong, some very good coaches that do online YouTube videos. Okay, but my plea for our clientele and our customers is, if you want to go look at some YouTube, like, come to us and ask questions, because you can go down through the wrong takes. If you see the fix your forehand in 5 minutes, or hit your forehand like center, or this one trick to hit 100-mile-an-hour serve, it's more than likely going to take you in a wrong direction. Because think of it this way: how does that person know what your forehand looks like?
Yeah.
Where you're at right now. Maybe there are elements of your forehand that are very sound. Maybe there are some that are not. That person is just talking to the camera.
It's really perspective, right? Yeah. And so I have a really firm belief on this, that I'm going to say these YouTube coaches, I truly believe, are not bad coaches. I truly believe that they are. A bunch of these probably know way more than I could ever know about the game, and I know a lot about the game, right? I really think these are good, experienced coaches. The problem is, and I think this is what Philip's alluding to, is it's not relevant for you.
It may not be relevant.
It may not be relevant for you.
Yeah.
And I think what some of these YouTube coaches do fail to do for you is clarify in the videos who this is for, when this might be a good time, what kind of age group or level, and they failed to clarify, hey, if you're already at this stage, this might help you. The reason, and I don't even necessarily blame them for it, is
because of YouTube.
It's because YouTube needs short, quick videos.
Yeah, they got to get clicks, right?
They don't have time to sit down and, maybe do what we do in this podcast, which is we'll just talk about it, open and honest. We've got plenty of time to kill.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about it. We'll actually get into the weeds of where this stuff comes from.
Well, and a lot of it also is, when you're saying, oh, hit your forehand like Federer or hit your forehand like Sinner, but then you go through a lot of it, and what they describe to you are stylistic elements of that one player's stroke, which probably definitely are not applicable to you unless you're, a 6'5" former skier, like everybody's body types are different. And so they could make one video about the fundamentals of a proper forehand, and that would be the only video about a forehand that they would need to make for YouTube. But that's not going to get them ad revenue and clicks and stuff like that. So it's whoever's hot. Oh, TFO, how to hit your forehand like TFO, and I'm going to jank my elbow all up and do this weird thing. And only Francis can get away with that, right? Like, if I tried to do that on my forehand, it would be ridiculous. There's no point in it.
And I think a lot of people, and I think this is where the takeaway, right? This is what we're trying to almost warn people about. And I like what Philip said. Just go to your coach, ask him, hey, where can I go to find good stuff?
Yeah.
Because there's loads of good stuff out there. And even videos that you may not think are good or bad, some coaches will send you there. They say, hey, I really want you to watch this video specifically for you, right? My high-level player, I might send them to a video, how to hit your forehand like Federer. And I might say, hey, we're not trying to hit it like Federer, but I want you to see the biomechanical thing that this video is describing, so you can kind of understand it.
Yes.
But what Philip's saying there is, you need to be really careful about what you're really looking for when you go searching for YouTube. And here's the thing, the algorithms, once you hit it once, they are going to pump
you with
it full in your social media. And before you know it, you're going to spend hours. And this is another problem, and this is why I really like the YouTube videos debate as well, is because people are probably really guilty of the following, right? They hit one YouTube video and it's like, this is forehand technique. The one underneath, this is forehand technique. The one underneath, this is before you know it, you're trying to do 10 different techniques because you've watched 10 different YouTube videos all describing very specific stuff for very specific situations. That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
That one. And again, let me be clear. It's because I went down that road and did it. So I know exactly. Getting on the court and my forehand is 50 different things instead of just what it needs to be. So been down that road. I can speak from experience.
Find someone you trust. Find a coach locally. If you're in Huntsville, come to us. We'll happily point you in directions. We'll put some links below. But also, if you're listening from afar, I'd like to think we get some listeners from afar. If you're listening from afar and you're like, well, I don't really have a coach. Like, YouTube is the way I do this. Totally fine. Write in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me and Philip are happy to help you no matter where you are. That's the beauty of being able to be online nowadays. But find a coach at your local club, or really just be careful with what sort of information you look at.
So here's a shout out. So in our pilot episode, Noah laid out one of his goals or dreams or whatever for the podcast, and that was to get a professional. Here's one of mine, as I came up as I'd been thinking about it.
Philip messaged me about this the other day, and I love it because I love having goals.
So I would like to be able to get one of my YouTube mentors, one of the 3 or 4 guys that do the YouTube videos that I really highly respect and think that do a really good job of making quality content. I would like to get them on the podcast, right, and be able to interview them and talk with them about their journey as a coach and all that kind of stuff. So that's sort of my goal.
That would be amazing. I mean, give them a shout out real quick.
So Essential Tennis.
If you're listening at home.
And we'll put links into it. Essential Tennis, Field Tennis are the 2 big ones. There's Fault Tolerant Tennis. So those are sort of my big ones that I still lean on when I'm trying to find a different way to discuss something or just, think about things differently. And I'll fully admit that I lift things from them, but then when I use it with a student, I fully give them credit. So no shame there. But I would love to be able to get one of those guys on at some point. If we had a chance, that'd be amazing.
And it would be really interesting to hear their take on other YouTube videos and other things that they see in the realms of tennis.
It'd be awesome.
We'll reach out to them and we'll see what happens. Cool. You never know. You never know. Philip, trivia time.
Okay.
Trivia for you this week. So we just had the Roland Garros, we just had French Open, and we're about to have Wimbledon.
Love Wimbledon.
So
favorite time of year.
I know. You ready? You got all the whites out?
They are clean.
You got the white shoes, maybe?
Oh yeah.
We got 12 packs to choose from. One of them's got to be white.
Yes, I've got white ones. I'm down.
If you're wondering about Philip's shoe collection, the picture is proof on Instagram right now. Game, Set, and Chat on Instagram. Your trivia question today is how many men's players and how many women's players have won Roland Garros, and then Wimbledon back to back.
Oh man, that is a good one.
Yeah. Because we've got the in-between grass court season right now. I've got a list of names if my phone doesn't die. I should have memorized these names.
I'm going to go with...
Do you want a hint as to the sort of numbers you're looking for?
I'm going to go with 5 on the women's side.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with maybe 4 on the men's.
6 and 6.
Okay.
Okay. Can you name some of them? Do you want to give it a go?
Women's side, I think, I'm thinking Everett.
Yep.
Navratilova.
Yep.
Everett Navratilova, it would have been Serena.
Yep.
Did Barty do it?
Mm-mm.
No.
You're looking much older now.
Oh, okay. What's her name? The Australian lady? Did she probably did it.
Australian lady?
I don't remember her name.
You've got Margaret Court.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Australian lady.
Margaret Court,
Is she Australian?
Yeah.
Billie Jean King.
Oh, how could I forget?
And Steffi Graf.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So men's.
Yeah.
Go for the men's.
Djokovic.
Yep.
Rafa.
Yep.
I don't know that Federer did it back to back.
He did. 09,
okay.
the 1 year he won the French, he then won and went.
That would have been his only chance.
Yep. So 3.
3. Then I want to think somebody like maybe Borg
is in there. So you're looking for 2 more. You're looking for 1 really old, 1 really new.
Did Johnny Mac do it?
Nope.
No. Okay.
You're way older.
Way older.
Yeah.
Rod Laver.
You got it. Rod Laver, and then a couple years ago.
Oh, and Alcaraz did
Alcaraz.
it.
Yeah. Well, and that's a pretty amazing feat with the court surfaces. I think it would be fun to do a podcast at some point about different surfaces and how that affects things.
Yes.
But that is not what we're going into next week. So I'm going to go in pod preview mode. Pod preview next week. We're going to speak about some tournament tennis. Specifically, the club that we work at is hosting 16s Clay's National Girls.
Yes.
Okay? 128 of the best girls in the country come to our club.
Some really fun tennis
in
to
a
watch.
couple weeks' time.
Yeah.
Really fun tennis to watch.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk through that tournament. We're going to talk about some things that our rec players can learn from a tournament like that. We're also going to kind of talk about the tournament as a whole and hopefully help these Clay girls as they come in to watch the pod and maybe have a bit of knowledge about it. So next week's kind of a different vibe, and I'm really excited for it. I think if you're listening into the pod, I think just taking interest in a tournament like this and speaking about it from a tennis perspective, I think will be really fun. Yeah. So we're going to talk about preparation and what sort of tournament situations you might end up in and things like that. So I think there will be a lot of good takeaways.
Yeah, good.
Time for the pod dedication, and then I've got a pod quote. Okay, so the pod dedication this week is an absolute no-brainer. It's my beautiful wife and my newborn son, George.
Yep.
Nice. George Bristol Pring, hopefully here to watch England lift the World Cup, you know.
Yeah.
These two, I just can't thank enough. They deserve more than a podcast dedication. But I love you so much. They're actually here tonight. They're here most weeks helping support me and helping get set up, and that's the kind of amazing family they are. So I really appreciate them.
I want to piggyback on that and shout out to Becky, my wife. You know, she's the reason I'm out here at 8:20 on a Tuesday night, you know, when I have a day job, and she's very supportive of my tennis passion, both playing, practicing, and what would seemingly be goofy considering my level if I said I want to go coach people as a quote an NTRP 3.5. People are going to look at you a little weird. And she was one of my first clients, right? Like going out when she picked up the racket and we started hitting, and thankfully I didn't steer her too wrong, and she's a much better athlete than I am, so she kind of just figured things out despite my coaching at that point. So yeah, big shout out to Becky.
I love it. And then our pod quote. So I went away from tennis this week, just with the World Cup going on.
All right.
So we've got a quote from Pele.
Okay, nice.
Okay, arguably the best World Cup soccer player of all time, football player of all time. Slipped my tongue there. I had a little Americanism. The English people won't be happy about that.
Well, you're treading on dangerous territory given Messi's
Yeah.
running around.
Well, Pele has 3 of them.
Well, okay. Okay. All right. Throw down the stats.
So Pele, success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, the love of what you're doing. And that's pretty much sums up what we're all about.
That's pretty solid.
So there you go, episode 5 in the books.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Game Set and Chat. If you enjoyed hanging out with us, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'll see you next time. Until then, just keep swinging.